morning, distinguished participants. You're welcome. On behalf of SLEC Africa, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the August edition of our monthly webinar series. Here at SLEC Africa, we are committed to creating platforms that inspire knowledge sharing, professional growth, and industry collaboration across Africa's gaming ecosystem. Today's session is particularly timely. Our theme for this webinar, which is Marketing for Growth, Winning Strategies in Local Markets, addresses one of the most critical levers of success in the gaming industry, building strategies that align with unique market realities while delivering sustainable growth. In an environment where customers' expectations are evolving and competition is intensifying, the ability to localize strategy without losing sight of global standards has become indispensable. We are privileged today to have with us two exceptional speakers who will lead in our conversation. Our first speaker, Nengi Akinola, the head of marketing at BetKing, an award-winning marketing leader, brand localization strategist, and storyteller who has successfully crafted and executed brand strategies that have redefined customer engagement in the gaming sector and beyond. You're very welcome. And our second speaker is Omotola Oronti, the marketing manager at BetNaija and the BetNaija Foundation, and a marketing and communicating specialist, public relations expert, content strategist with a wealth of experience in business growth, digital engagement, and marketing position. I think we should give them an applause. You could leave your reactions. So together, they will share practical strategies, case studies, and insights that will not only help you rethink your marketing approach, but also equip you with tools to align purpose, culture, and customer engagement for long-term success in your organization. We thank you for joining us, and we encourage you to participate actively, ask questions, share your perspective, and connect with peers. This promises to be an insightful and transformative session. Once again, welcome to the August edition of the SLEC webinar. Let's learn, engage, and grow together. Can we all hear me? Okay, great. Apologies, networking. So right now, we want to call upon our first speaker for today, Nengi Akinola. She's, if you could see our profile displayed on the screen. Nengi is the head of marketing at BetKing, and she's also an award-winning senior marketing leader, brand localization strategist, and storyteller with over a decade's experience. She is recognized as one of the 35 women under 35 top marketing professionals, 40 women under 40 in marketing, and most outstanding marketing personality in Nigeria by Marketing Edge. She also has a BSc in computer science, a mastering digital marketing qualification from the London Business School, and an MBA from the University of South Wales, United Kingdom. Right now, I would leave the floor open for her to give a presentation. Thank you very much, Madam Nengi.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's great to be here. I think I'll just project my screen, so I'll take over from you if you don't mind. Okay, so good morning again. My name is Nengi Akiola, and I head marketing for BetKing. All through my career, I've focused more on localizing global strategies that makes it relevant to the markets in which we operate in. And for today, I'm going to be taking you through marketing case studies and lessons that I've learned in the last almost 2 years of working in the sports betting and iGaming industry. So we're going to be unlocking growth through local first marketing strategies. So for the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to be taking you through 3 key case studies that I have worked on and what the lessons have, been, the results of some of the localization strategies that we have, employed, and hopefully you have a takeaway to, put into your own brands and campaigns as you work on them. So the first case study we're going to be looking at is inclusion as a lever to unlock growth. And we're going to be looking at the Bet Queen case study, more on that much later. The second case study we're going to look at is localization as a catalyst for growth and differentiation. So we're going to look at 2 localized games that we launched in the last 1 year. And then the third case study we're going to be looking at is reimagining promotions and the sponsorship dynamic. So we're going to be looking at Real Love, which is a sponsorship that we had embarked on. So first, looking at the case study, the first case study, inclusion as a lever to unlock growth. Sometime this year, during the International Women's Month, we embarked on an audacious project. So at the beginning of the year, one of our growth levers that we aligned on as a business was to increase our female audience. And this was majorly across our casino vertical, and then we would cross-sell them to, our main product, which is sports, and then potentially virtuals. And so we decided to speak to the Nigerian female audience all through the month of March, because it just provided us with the right environment to be able to speak to them. And so we created a very bold campaign called Beat the Odds, just a play on words based off of what we do. And Beat the Odds was a bold campaign that showcased women who have broken barriers in traditionally male-dominated industries, sports betting being one of such industries. And so through their personal journeys, the series was exploring, the challenges that they face and the resilience that they've shown and the impact that they made in their respective industries. And so what did we do? We rolled out the campaign in 3 key areas. The first was one of the things that I had a very hard time convincing, the senior leadership team, global senior leadership team to do, and for good reason. The first thing we did was to change our logo for the day, that's the 8th of March, which was the actual International Women's Day. We changed our logo for 1 day from Bet King to Bet Queen. Now, this was a serious struggle internally, because we didn't want to alienate our male customers who are, who make up majority of our customer base. But we also wanted to drive inclusion, because we know that women have a part to play in, driving revenue, driving growth, and just generally, moving in that direction. So we changed our logo from Bet King to Bet Queen for 24 hours across all our platforms. And then the second thing that we did was we launched the Beat the Odds campaign by signing 2 brand influencers who we believed were thriving in a male-dominated industry. So in this case, Wani and Handy, who are DJs and reality stars. And so we wanted to tell their story. So they beat the odds to becoming professional DJs. We all know that there are more men than women in the professional DJing space. And so we wanted to tell their story and also bring in the fun elements to it. So we launched a documentary that detailed not just their story, but stories from our super agents, our master agents, and just regular agents who were female, and talked about what they had to overcome, in the course of starting a sports betting shop, and making it within that space. We also featured internal female leaders within the BetKing space, myself included, where we talked about our history, just basically what we've done so far to drive inclusion and to show our value and our worth within male-dominated industry. And then the third thing we did, which was to tie in the business part of things. So it's not just for you to create a campaign that looks good, sounds good, and is viral, but also to solve a business problem. So for us, we wanted to get, as I said, more female participation within our verticals. And the easiest, lowest barrier to entry was going to be casino. And so we leveraged the influencers we signed to launch a tournament, a gaming tournament, where they could play certain eligible games to win a certain amount of money. So we leveraged the brand influencers, Wani and Handy. Two of the games were our top front games. And so we labeled each of the games with each of the influencers just to drive that competitiveness, and then every week we were changing the games until the end of the promotion. Now, looking at, I'll just show us. We had a full-on documentary that just talked about their journey, their struggles, as well as all the other internal team members, as well as our agents. And the results were outstanding. In fact, it's still talked about within the business. For BetKing, from a social media perspective, we had over 87 million impressions, 4.6% share of voice. We had 22,000 engagements, about 97% positive sentiment. And if you work in the betting, well, we all work in the betting industry, that having 97% positive sentiment is a huge deal. For the Bet Queen logo itself and all the communication that went under the Bet Queen, changing the logo for one day, we had over 60 million impressions. We had 32,000 messages with mentions of Bet Queen. We had over 100,000 total engagement, 2,300 unique contributors. People were talking about, the campaign. We had over 100 people using the Bet Queen logo as their display picture. All organic. So they got the logos from our page and put it on their platform and used it. It was for the entire month. It was up on their profile. And that is a testament to when you have truly made an impact with your campaigns. And then from the business part of it, their creative assets, that's the creative assets we used for Wani and Handy, were the best performing in March for apps. And so we renewed their contract. So initially, we had only signed them for a month just for the purpose of the campaign. And because of how well, the stats came in, we had to sign them for a year. For the games that they promoted, for JetX, it closed out as the highest stake ever. It was an existing game, but when we launched the promotion with the twins, JetX in itself closed out the month with the highest stake ever. Multi Hot 5, which was the second game that we used for Handy, closed out March with the highest stakes ever. And then both games had a combination of over 25,000 MAUs respectively. That's double of what they did in the previous month. And we had over 3,000 FTBs acquired just within the period of the promo. Both games were number 2 and number 3 within that period of that promo. So when you look at stuff like this, you would get a full appreciation of how you can drive very impactful campaigns with, when you understand the nuances of your markets and your customers. This is just an example of some of the people who turned, their profile pictures to the logo, Bet Queen and the Q, and then all the conversations that were had as a result of this campaign. And then to, put the icing on the cake, we also got nominated, the Bet Queen campaign got nominated in the human rights category of the Act Responsible Awards at Cannes Lion Festival this year. So it was an all-round success from a campaign point of view and from a business point of view, showing that inclusion and localization truly works. The second case study that we'll be looking at is localization as a catalyst for growth and differentiation. And we're going to be looking at two localized games that BetKing has successfully deployed in the last 1 year. The first is Danfo Lagos. Now, what we did with Danfo Lagos was we rebranded an existing game called Taxi Cab on our casino vertical to Danfo Lagos. And that was because we believe that localizing, casino games with like the Nigerian Danfo bus element would attract more players, and it would also drive virality. Everyone here is familiar with Lagos transportation, and Danfo is a staple, so we wanted to bridge the gap between a virtual world, which is what the casino games that you play on your phone, and actual lived experiences of our customers, which is the everyday transportation, very prominent element, which is Danfo Lagos. And so we believe that if we infuse that into the game, we would be able to drive more engagement, more relevance, and hopefully more revenue for the business. And not only changing the game, we also believe that leveraging Brother Shaggy, who was an influencer on BetKing, leveraging him and his existing, the whole conductor YouTube show that he had, if we're going to put them together, it would be a match made in heaven. It would be a perfect fit. And so we started our localization journey. So last year, one of the growth levers that we thought to pull was to drive more content localization within our portfolio. And so we launched Danfo Lagos, as I said, a game inspired by the vibrant chaos of Lagos transportation culture. And so when we did all the different localization, we not only localized, the bus to become a Danfo, which is well known, we also added, the silhouette of major landmarks within, our environment. If you can see the background, you see the Lekki Ikoyi Bridge, you see the National Theatre, you see the church, so many other iconic buildings, and we brought all that, and then also added the local slang OWA. So when the bus crashes, it crashes. But before the bus crashes, if you want to cash out, you just click on the button and it says OWA, and this was an instant hit. In month one alone, we had over 11,000 customers who jumped on board. And since then, we've averaged over 9,300 monthly players with a peak of 12,000 in December. And this is proof, again, that local truly, truly connects. What we did, as I said, we changed the bus. This was the existing bus on the left. On the right, we changed it to Danfo Lagos. We also added notable Lagos sites to the background. We introduced the BetKing brand influencer Shaggy, who is very known for his conductor YouTube show. And then the pop-out OWA speech bubble once you want to cash out, basically. And then how did we roll out?
Hello, hello, hello. We can't hear you anymore. We think we've
Can you hear the video?
broken off.
Can you hear the video? Hello?
Are you saying something?
Can you hear the the video that I'm playing?
No, we can't hear the video
Oh,
from
okay.
my
My
end.
phone. Okay, that's fine. Um, uh, we have, this so what we did was
There
we
is
had
no
lamppost.
from the video being played, and we can barely make out what you're saying as well.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
what we did was I was playing a video, the Brother Shaggy skit that we used to launch the video, but it looked like you couldn't hear the audio from my presentation. So we launched with a skit where Brother Shaggy was, actually on the bus, bringing to life the game. And then we did a full ATL rollout where we had, the commercials, the radio assets, and then we had the lampposts as well that had a theme around driving, just to bring to life the game because, it happens on the streets. So drive your way to big wins. We also had activations at the mall where we got people to try the product and to meet with Brother Shaggy, who is the character within the game. And then lastly, we wanted people to experience the Danfo culture, so we gave out free rides in Danfo Lagos themed buses. So we had free rides for 2 days in select routes, and when you take that ride, you get it free, and then people talk to you in the bus about the game, get you to download it, and play the game. So we took it through the full funnel, and I mean, as we said, it became an instant hit. um Within our portfolio, it was top 3 games at the time that it was launched, and it has sustained that momentum, all through the period, even till the sustenance period. Now, moving quickly to the next, which is the JJ Bolex. This is another localization effort that we had made um, in May of 2025. So for us, the challenge was the crash games that were doing well across our portfolio are popular global iGaming market games, right? But in Nigeria, there was no distinct identity that told the Nigerian story. So a lot of the players, saw those games as foreign, just basically transactional and impersonal. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted a game that's more than a product. We wanted a story that players could relate with and could connect with emotionally. And so for us, we also looked at who our biggest customer base. We know they are the football lovers, right? They're the ones that play sportsbook. So how can we bring, that their love for football, and a very precious um, identity that they've carried through the years. It is one name stood out, of course, for us, and it was JJ Okocha, the football legend, that was synonymous with, flair, creativity, juggling, and all that. And so what we did was we reimagined an existing game, which was Football X, um, and we reskinned it, we rebranded it to what we now call JJ Bolek. So what did we do? We changed the avatars from the random generic avatars to JJ, and there were 3 avatars of JJ. The first avatar was him wearing the Bet King, outfit. The second avatar was him wearing a Super Eagles type themed jersey, and then the third was him wearing his club jersey, Bolton Wanderers, where he spent most of his, well, maybe not necessarily most of his career, but the most recognizable period within his professional career internationally. And we brought these 3 together and we put JJ at the center of it. We changed the background of the game to have that under bridge feel to it, and we also added, the SFX, the voice effect, and the legend became, he was brought to life via a game. So we launched with a press conference, and then we rolled out the ATL campaign. So we had the TV commercial, we had the radio campaigns, as well as the DOH campaigns. And then as a form of sustenance, we also launched a prize pool tournament. So just to give people that extra incentive to come and play, on the platform. So we had a prize pool of a full month just to be able to drive that sustained engagement within the period. And then on the 28th of June, that was a month plus later after we had launched, we also brought the gaming experience to life through a record-breaking Guinness World Record attempt. So we wanted to, the game is really about people juggling the ball, right? And so for us to be able to bring it to life that is tangible for people to, touch and feel, we decided to attempt to break a Guinness World Record for the most people juggling a ball. So we brought over 2,000 participants and JJ to come and bring to life the mobile game that we had created on our phone. So this time, people could actually physically come and compete, and bring the game to life. So when you look at all this, you understand the power of localization truly, and ultimately what this game gave us, and it's still something that is ongoing. The game became top 10, games on our platform. We were able to bring in over 20,000 MAUs, monthly active users. We had over 5,000 first-time bettors coming to the platform as a result of this game. And of course, undisclosed revenue value just on the back of this customization. So yes, customization truly works. And beyond it just being customization, it also differentiates you from your competitors within the market and gives you a point of reference for you to be able to campaign or market something, an offering that is different from what is existing in the market. The last case study that we will go into would be reimagining how we create promotions by leveraging sponsorship. And the campaign that I'm going to be presenting is Real Love case study. So in February, Valentine's, we set out to introduce a big gaming content provider to our platform. So Evolution, who is a game provider. And, normally when you want to introduce those kind of partners, you would usually just, list them on your casino lobby, and do maybe some CRM communication, some web banners, and that would be it. But for us, we wanted to bring in, an experiential angle to it, a market activation angle to it. And so what we did was we first looked at the gaming content that the Evolution provider, had within their portfolio. And we saw that a lot of the games had, gems attached to it. So it had a gem theme. And so we thought, it's Valentine's, and Valentine's is known for, love and gifting and, all that very shiny stuff. So how about we, create something that has a love theme around it? And so we launched, we created a campaign called Real Love. And the reason for the real was because, reels are used to, it's kind of like a slot machine, right? It's a mechanism for spinning, basically. Only for us to, while we had come up with this campaign, only for us to find out that Timini Egbuson was releasing his producing debut, a movie called Real Love. It was purely coincidental, but it was a match made in heaven. And so it became a no-brainer to sponsor, the movie and use his platform to be able to reach his female audience, which we all know that he's well known for, and, as I said initially, trying to explore the female demography and bringing them into our ecosystem was one of our business objectives. So it was in line with what, the business had in mind. And so we did a partnership with him, and we launched the campaign with a 1-month promotion with Evolution Games as the eligible game. So if you participate in that promotion, you get an all expense paid staycation, which is also in line with the Valentine's season. So we sponsored several couples to Jara Beach Resort, as the end reward, but for them to hit that reward, they needed to play the game. We also amplified the campaign with, Timini talking about the different eligible games to be played, and we also activated the game during the launch of the movie to amplify the content via paid channels. And then overall, we covered the trip of the couples that we took to Jara Resort as content for social media. And the result of this, sorry. Can you still see my screen?
No, we cannot.
Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now?
No.
Okay, give me a second.
All right.
Can you see it now?
Coming up, yes, we can now.
Great. So the result of this campaign, we had elevated visibility for the Evolution Slot Games on the BetKing platform. We had over 20,000 MAUs in month one. We obviously expanded our reach into the female audience segments, which helped us fulfill a key business goal. And of course, we differentiated BetKing Casino brand by linking, gaming with lifestyle entertainment and pop culture, rather than relying solely on conventional gaming. So lastly, I just wanted to leave us with key takeaways from all the things that I have presented from case study 1, case study 2, and case study 3. The first key takeaway I would, want to drive home is inclusion unlocks new audiences. So the campaign that I showed you, the BetQueen campaign, proved that authentically engaging underrepresented groups can drive massive adoption and revenue growth, as we've seen. The second takeaway would be localization is a growth catalyst. So when we rebranded Taxi Cab into Danfo Lagos, it showed, that embedding cultural symbols, languages, and experiences can turn a global product into local favorites. The third point would be cultural storytelling creates movement. So with JJ Bolex, for example, we're able to tie a game to the legend JJ Okocha and transform the generic crash game into a national phenomenon, driving exponential player growth. And lastly, sponsorship has to be reimagined. We right now, a lot of times that we, deploy sponsorship, it's almost like just a template. So we need to drive in, the storytelling angle and cultural resonance, not just logo placement on a media wall. And if we want to win locally, we must think beyond, what is obtainable in our markets. Sometimes when we embrace our culture, we can create emotional connection and community ownership, which would in turn drive business growth for our respective businesses. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. If you have any questions, I'm very happy to take them now.
Thank you very much, Nengi, for this amazing presentation. We were able to get a lot of marketing tips that you shared with us so generously. Questions, I believe the questions will be, you could drop your questions in the chat. Questions will be addressed after the presentation. So very quickly, I would like to call on our next speaker, Omotola Oronti. Do we have a...
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Yes, thank you very much. Omotola Oronti is a marketing manager at Bet Niger and the Bet Niger Foundation. She is also a marketing and communication specialist, a public relations expert, and our professional focus is on public relations, internal communications, digital marketing, and events management. She holds a BSc in guidance and counseling from the University of Lagos, MBA from the University of South Wales, and she's a certified associate with the Chartered Institute of Marketing. You're very welcome, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. Okay. Can you see my screen? Hello?
We can see your screen. We can see your screen. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, I'd like to talk about, like we said, the winning strategies in local gaming markets. I'll go with data, starting with data. We all know that the betting industry generates like over 1.5 trillion annually.
Yes, that one.
Sorry? Hello?
Please go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you. And the average Nigerian bettor places a game during Champions League nights, EPL weekends, Bundesliga, and we have over 60 million Nigerians betting, and 80% of them do so on their phones, because as it is now, digital is the future. And of course, we have over users that are really young, they are football lovers and extremely brand aware. Like, they know the brands that they want to bet with, be it Bet Niger, Bet King, Sporty, OneXBet, Stake, and the likes. So how do we win? Let's talk strategy. So I see we need to speak their language in the digital world today. It's important that we speak the languages that they understand. If you are going to win, especially in Nigeria, because betting is actually really peculiar in Nigeria. So we need to speak their language: Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. For example, Bet Niger launched the Bet Boom feature last year. It was a game changer feature whereby your odds are being multiplied. For example, if you are supposed to win, maybe you placed a bet of 100 naira and you're supposed to win 200 naira, you get to, once your game gets multiplied, you can win over 1 million, or it depends on the multiplier that you get during the game. So these are languages that punters, they want to hear. So you can get boom today, bookies will cry, pressure tiwa. So these are the things that we align into marketing campaigns in order to spark engagement and talkability. So moving on to be mobile first and light friendly. So because these days a lot of punters are on their phone, they are placing bets on their phone. So it's important to have apps that it's easy for them to open on their phone and place a bet, because once they are trying to place a bet and the app is taking too much time to load, they get distracted and they move to the next available betting platform. So it is important to have a very light app to engage these punters. For Bet Niger, for a very long time, we did not have an app, but we were also forced to do that in 2018, 2019, which it was very important to incorporate into the market. So yes, I'll move on to the advantage of sports wave. Since ball is life, it's important to, because Nigerians are passionate football lovers. So when we look at what they do, well, how they engage in sports, they engage based on the teams that they love. For example, Super Eagles is like the biggest football in Nigeria. So it's important to take advantage of all these opportunities, like the Super Eagles qualifiers match, AFCON qualifier, Euros qualifier, AFCON watch parties, Premier League weekends, and international tournaments such as the Euros and the FIFA World Cup. In the case of Super Eagles qualifiers match, it's important to connect with fans through these avenues, because for instance, people want to see Osimhen, they want to see Adekunle Lookman. So engaging products like Super Eagles, it creates this emotional engagement with fans and the brand. And also the AFCON watch parties. These are things that we do across, not just in Lagos. We try to take it to different states in Nigeria, thereby engaging with customers, same as the Premier League weekends and the international tournaments. Also, one of the key strategies that specifically I have interest in is converting fans into marketers, influencers to fan. These are ways, these are situations where we engage tipsters. Tipsters are like gaming communities on X. We engage them to put out codes, and in situation where a tipster wins, you don't need to do any form of marketing. They come out, because Nigerians like to brag. Imagine somebody winning over 100 million naira. They will come out themselves to say that, I don't kill Bet Niger today, I won over 100 million naira. This is a bragging culture. The moment the tipster wins, is ready to go all out. And in this moment, people, this is testimonials where people are saying that this is happening in real time. They get to want to engage with the brand. And these tipsters, they have a community where they have their following, where people engage with them on X and on Telegram. So collaborating with tipsters, it's just converting fans to marketers. They do the marketing by themselves. They would then go out telling their followers that this is where you should play. This is the brand. Once you play with them, you get your cash out. So converting fans to marketers is very important. And case in study is the tipster network, where we engage with Bet Niger. I don't want to be disclosing the revenue involved from the back end, but this is a proven strategy that has worked over time since the step. And we have different of these tipsters. They are grouped into different tiers. We have the mega tipsters, we have the macro and the nano. They do the marketing for you, for your brand. You don't have to even spend so much money, because they are like foot soldiers online. They go out to spread the works of your brand. Then take the brand to the streets, because offline is still alive. Yes, because we know that digital is fantastic, but trust is rooted locally. People trust what they see, what they can feel, what they can engage with. Case in point is the Bet Niger Agent Network. This is a network that has been built for over over 10 years, which they are present in every state in Nigeria. This is something that we've been able to sustain over the years in the inception of Bet Nigeria. Even when people are moving, all brands are moving to digital, but we've still been able to sustain our agent network, which is over 20,000 agents across Nigeria. What this has done is that we're bringing this betting to people's doorsteps. You can connect with the customers directly. You don't have to go too far. You don't have to think that, okay, if I win my money, where do I go to? How do I chase these people? There's nothing like that. There's trust. This agent network, they serve as like full soldiers in the communities. They relate with their people one-on-one. This has been in existence, and we've been able to multiply over the years despite brands moving online. So then reasonable promotions that gets people talking. We have different promotions that get people talking, which is actually cool. But creating all these features that changes the game is very important. Case in point is the Cut 1 and Cut 2, for example. These are features that engages these customers, because punters, they have short attention span, and they're very particular about the money that they get to win in these cases. So promotions that get them coming back. Case in point is this Cut 1 and Cut 2. Cut 1 is a feature that if you place a bet on multiple games and one game cuts, you are not going to lose. You still get to cash out. You still get to get paid. So these are different features that get people talking and keeps people glued to the brand, that okay, this is not just a transactional engagement for them. They are also getting benefits. Then speed and trust for gamers, for punters. What is more important to them is their payouts. The moment where, because for most people that bet is a form of lifestyle. They do it for the fun of it, for the engagement of it. So they want to bet and be sure that they are going to get their money immediately. So it's important to have like a fast payouts network that once they are placing their bets, they can easily cash out their money immediately. Not that they are having to fill a lot of form and is delaying their payment. This gets all these punters they get agitated and they're not patient enough to wait. So it's important to have a very fast payout network and ability that they get paid. I remember there was one time where there was an issue with a betting brand where there was a very winning weekend, and they were struggling to pay. This is something that punters are not always comfortable with. Once there's the trust that no matter what, once they place their bets, they get paid. This is very important to the bettors. Then signature campaigns and promotion. It's important to understand that a campaign needs to be changed to make it more lifestyle, more engaging and more interesting for the customer. Case in point for Bet Nigeria was the December 2024 1 billion Christmas countdown campaign. This is a campaign where with just 500 naira, you could win over 100 million, and the highest we gave out in max over 1 billion naira, including an SUV car, TV, and different bonuses. So these are campaigns that punters always look forward to, because they know that they have been betting. They also want to win back. So it's not just coming to the platform, but campaigns that speak to them directly and engage them. Same as the Gold Rush promo campaign, which is a free bet to customers. If you don't have money to bet, it is fine. come on the platform. These are campaigns that are engaging and keeps customer in the business. And case in point is the Let's Do It Again AFCON campaign. This is a cultural engaging campaign where is a uniting campaign that we know that Nigeria, everybody is behind Super Eagles. They want Super Eagles to win at the either at the AFCON level or at the World Cup level. This is something that we partnered with NFF for the Let's Do It campaign as the official partner for 2003 and also for the 2004. Will also be partnering with them for the 2005, because with the 2003 campaign there was a very great margin in terms of revenue and in terms of the engagement that we got, because we created, people don't get to see these footballers in real time, so there were content and people don't get to see the behind the scene, like the locker room, getting ready for a match day. All these are content that was created around Super Eagles that spiked our engagement on digital in terms of impressions. So this is one of the campaigns. So signature campaigns are very good for brands to grow your brand. And then influencer driven storytelling. Case in point was the Bet Niger Big Brother campaign in 2019. This was something that was done to demystify betting, because before there, a lot of people felt betting was just done for people at the D level, people that are not. So we brought in culture, we brought in lifestyle, we brought in storytelling, which there were Bet Niger moments where the once you're out of the house, the housemates, you get to come, and with the Bet Niger moment, it was just like a storytelling campaign where they get to express, talk about their times in the house. And this was something that we did, which spiked a lot of engagement, talkability, and also in terms of revenue, because we also did different campaigns around this Big Brother. There was the Jesse campaign, there was the decoder campaign, and there was also the weekend parties as well, which this was an active lifestyle campaign, which we collaborated music, arts, and reality stars to cement emotional engagement within the youth audience. For sponsorship and grassroots alignment, it's important to also try to deepen our physical brand, to also recall trust with these people, because we know that betting is done by everybody, not just people on digital, also people offline. One of the sponsorships that also help, because football is core of betting. Most of the betting is done on football. So we also have case in point, the MPFL sponsorship with Bet Niger, because MPFL is the Premier League of Nigeria. So this is just reinforcing brand equity within the local football culture. Yes, going to the bonus one, it's cool to comply. In addition to marketing betting, we also market accountability. So for every content that goes out on our digital platform, we make sure to put 18 plus bet responsibly, because this is, we're not just telling people to bet, but it is important to also encourage them to include age restriction, and so that we comply to ACON and NLRC regulation, because it is important to encourage our customers, and and responsible gaming is very, very important. So closing up, the big picture, platform are only one aspect of marketing in Nigeria. people are the focus. It's about putting your money on the culture, being visible in the midst of chaos, and speaking where others will listen. So if you want to grow in Nigeria, be mobile first, be trustworthy, and be culturally loud. And most importantly, be the brand that connects with the streets and the people above all else. Thank you very much. Please, do we have any?
Thank you very much, Omotola. What a very, very insightful session. And one thing I know was that from both speakers, the insights they shared was really similar. We can all agree that their focus was paying attention to what their customer base wants and meeting them at where they are at their own level through content localization or even sponsorship and grassroots alignments. Please, do we have any questions so that we could put it forward to our speakers? Please drop your questions in the chats. Okay. Okay, I have someone here. I have a question. Uiza Malik, please can you drop your question on the chat?
Right. While Oyiza Malik is typing out his question, I would like to just appreciate the speakers for their time. I don't know what's happening today. The system has just decided to kick me out for some reason. But yes, I'm sure you can all hear me now. Thank you for your presentation, which was very insightful. The reason why marketing is important is, it forms the basis for an industry like ours where everyone's selling the same product essentially. It's a homogeneous product, and the only way to differentiate and get market share is by setting aside or your brand, so to speak. I'm aware that Nengi, one of our speakers, she has to go. She has another engagement in about, she has to leave us in about 2 minutes. But I have a question for you. I'm aware that both speakers have worked with brands that are considered top tier in the Nigerian gaming space. Would you, and you've got the budget over time, you've built the budget, you've built the more or less war chest to properly market, position your brand. However, for new entrants, and I'm just going to direct this at Nengi before she leaves us, for a new brands coming in, are there cost-effective ways in which to do marketing just to get market share, in an industry that is considered saturated, like the one we have in Nigeria?
That's a fantastic question. So yes, there are ways to hack marketing for growth. In my previous experience working with Oppo was a global mobile phone that did not have any presence in Nigeria. And when we came into the country, there were bigger players who had a lot of might in the market, Transsion Group being one of them, Samsung being another, so we were at a disadvantage. But what we did was we, first of all, did our research, looked at what, the big giants have done well, and then identified what they had not done so well. So not that they don't have it, but maybe they're not focusing on it because they don't see it as a big opportunity. And then we looked at our product. What can we provide that, we can stake claim on? What can we do that they cannot do as well as we can? In this case was our photo quality, and so we leveraged that, and we, use that as one thing that we were going to distinguish ourselves, as, and we wanted it to resonate with everybody who decided to, purchase our product, that for this one thing, if I'm looking for this one thing, I would go to this brand. So if we bring it into the betting context, you need to do your research. You need to be a lot more research focused. What are the big players doing that, they're good at? And then what are the things that they are not necessarily focusing on? And then what can you, as a business and looking at your product, what can you stake claim to that you would do consistently, and it will make you stand out within your customer base? So the mistake a lot of new entrants do is they want to mimic, what the big players are doing, and you don't have the resources, you don't have, just the might and the trust and credibility, because our industry is very trust and credibility heavy, so you don't have all that, but you want to act like a big player. So instead of doing that, focus on what you can stake claim to. It might be a small niche, but over time, when you do it over and over again, you build your, communication, you build your product, and your pipeline and your channels around that, and they know you for that one thing. You would find your audience. And once you find your audience, they would be loyal to you. And then once you get, that recognition and then the resources, you can then move to the next thing. So that is what I would suggest.
Thank you very much, Nengi, for your answer. We also have another question. I think this will be directed to Omotola. For a new, Oiza Malik is asking, for a new betting company, how do we get the visibility and customer retention?
Okay.
I think that's what she just answered essentially. That was the question. How do you get market share? Market share essentially is positioning your brand. And as Nengi has said, look for the white spaces. Don't try to compete with the bigger brands. Look for the white spaces. Look at what they're not working on. Look at the areas where you have your areas of strength, where you can be nimble even as a small organization. Thank you for that, Nengi. I note again that most of what the conversation around marketing for growth has been around, customer acquisition, appealing to new demography, especially with the Bitcoin project. It's about acquiring new customers. However, in terms of, and then maybe this question I would direct to our second speaker. Are there measures? Can we embed into marketing? Can marketing be focused on cleaning up some of the mess that we make as an industry? For instance, can it be aimed or targeted at persons with problem gambling, or can it be aimed at those with gambling addiction? So it would be good if Omotola, you could speak to us very quickly about that.
Okay, thank you very much. So yes, that can be, marketing can be targeted towards that. So case in point is responsible gaming awareness campaign. So this is a campaign where the responsible gaming campaign is a campaign where people are spoken to about the need to stop when it's time to stop. You don't have to exhaust all your life savings to bet. You should know when to stop when it is no longer fun. Also, case in point is Bet Naija. Bet Naija established Bet Naija Foundation in 2023, July 2023, which the foundation is responsible for, not just giving back to the betting community, but giving back to Nigeria as a whole. In the space of 2 years, they've given out scholarship to undergraduates in school, the Scale Up Business Pitch Fund, where entrepreneurs are given opportunity to pitch their ideas, and then they are then thereby rewarded with I think the winner went away with over 10 million naira. And also the graduates, there's a program called the Graduates Employability and Enterprise Summit, where young graduates and undergraduates they are brought together in a room to discuss essential life skills to make them grow in their career and their personal businesses. So these are avenues where uh, avenues where it has been created to create a life for people in the gaming sector and also outside the gaming sector, to improve on themselves and to also give back to the community. So it's not just about betting brands taking from them, but also giving back. I'm also aware that even BetKing also has a program called BetKing Cares, where they also give back to communities. Yes. So thank you.
Right, thank you. Thank you for that clarification. I think someone is asking, I would like to know the most engaging campaign for online players. What do you think the most engaging campaign for online players is?
So most engaging campaign for online players.
Yeah.
Sports.
Is there a particular sports? Okay.
Yes, sports.
Sports is considered the most engaging.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because football is the heartbeat of sport betting. So it's sports.
Nigeria.
Yes, in Nigeria. Yes. So it's sports. Case in point is during like off season, where people then place bets on casinos and different games. The revenue usually goes down a bit compared to where season is active. Yes, so it's sports.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. I guess at this point, we'd just like to once again thank our speakers and thank those who have attended today's session. Apologies again for the glitch at the beginning of the engagement. I mean, technology, when we rely on technology, sometimes it just acts up and there's only so much we can do. But Select Africa is committed to continue to bring these sessions to you as much as possible at no cost. For those who have consistently attended and engaged this session, I hope you find it useful. I hope it's equipping you to perform better in your roles and also to support your organizations much more, significantly. Thank you all for coming today. And yes, we will continue the conversation on marketing in September, only from a different perspective this time around. So we look forward to seeing you all here again in a month's time. And we wish you the very best. So take care, enjoy the rest of your day, have a good weekend, and see you soon. Bye.